You have returned from your weekend island adventure. You once again find yourself over at Siggy and Sigmund's house. Your boyfriends are lamenting over school starting back up soon, meaning everyone will have less time with each other. After your vacation, you can't shake the feeling that something is off about Sigmund. The older dragon seems to have an even more active libido than usual. Since you all got back, Sigmund looks for every excuse to fuck. As much as you enjoy helping sate the older dragon, you have other things on your mind. Ring ring. Your phone goes off. It's your father. Hey, Dad.
What's up?
Not you, my actual dad.
Hey, son. How are you?
I'm good, just getting ready for classes to start back up.
That's great to hear. Listen, I'm actually going to be in town soon.
Oh? What for?
I have a bidding for a landscaping contract. Their headquarters is in your city.
That's great. How long will you be in town?
Should be just a couple of days, but it looks like a convention is happening this week and a lot of the hotels are booked full. You wouldn't happen to know of any places your old man could crash at?
Oh, he can stay here.
How the hell did you even hear that?
Hear what?
Never mind. I'm at my roommate's house. His dad is local and offered to put you up.
That's wonderful. Tell him I said thanks.
Will do. When will you be here?
About that, I should be in town this afternoon.
What?
I'm sorry for the last minute notice. I hope that's not a problem.
No, it should be fine, right? Sigmund and Siggy flash you a thumbs up. Yeah, I'll text you the address.
Thanks, Devin. You're my favorite son.
I'm your only son. Anyways, I'll see you later, Dad. Love you.
Love you too.
After you end the call, you let out a long sigh.
Devin, you okay?
I'll be fine. My dad is on his way, and Sigmund has offered to let him stay here.
What? I'm a nice guy.
Meeting the in-laws already?
In-laws? We're not married.
We might be. One day.
I'd like to deal with one crisis at a time, please.
Fine.
Oh, don't worry about a thing. It will be fine.
I hope so. I haven't exactly told him about us.
He's not going to be upset or anything, is he?
No, I don't think so. But then again, how do you exactly explain to your father you have two boyfriends who happen to be father and son?
Ah, I see your point.
Why didn't you just say it exactly like that?
Well, we better get Siggy's room cleaned up.
Aw, why does he have to stay in my room?
Well, I don't think it'd be right to invite him to sleep in my bed, and you two are going back to your dorms anyways.
Yes, some alone time with Devin.
Your younger boyfriend leans over and kisses you on the cheek.
I have some fresh sheets for the bed. Just pull off Siggy's nasty covers and I'll get them washed.
Hey, they're not that nasty. Haha. What's so funny? It's kind of your fault they're sticky.
No, it's not that. I was just remembering. When I was very little, my dad used to tell me to clean up my room all the time. He didn't do it because he thought it was messy or anything. He did it because Mom would yell at me and then at him for not doing a better job at raising a responsible child. Aw. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom too. She just travels all the time.
What does she do?
She's an archaeologist.
She designs buildings.
Siggy, you're so cute.
No, that's an architect. Archaeologists study history through what was left behind from other civilizations.
Oh, that's neat.
It is. She really wanted me to follow in her footsteps.
You're so smart. You'd be great at that.
She said the same thing. I thought about it for a while, but I wanted to help people. Still, the reason I study so hard and enjoy reading about history and culture is because of my mom. She taught me to read before I even started school.
Wow, that's amazing. Sigurd had to retake math a few times.
That was only the one time.
See? You still can't count.
Hey.
What? You can't blame my genes for this.
So who do you blame?
Well, I didn't know Sigurd's biological parents really well, but they passed away soon after he was born.
It's okay, Dad. I don't really remember my birth mother or father either.
I heard they were in a car accident. They made it to the hospital, but their injuries were just too severe.
It was a very small town out in a rural country. Dad was the only other dragon that happened to be in the area and decided to adopt me.
Yep, I always wanted a child, but couldn't seem to settle down with a proper partner.
The agency thought it would be a good fit. Raising dragons can be a bit of a rough experience for other species.
I bet. You two are more than a handful for me.
I think we've both calmed down a bit. It just took finding the right antlered guy.
Alright, Sigmund, you're trying to butter me up for more sex again. I'm not falling for that one again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever, you horn dog. Go wash the sheets.
Fine.
Help me get the sheets on.
Be glad we're changing the sheets.
Why's that? Your dad smelly?
He sweats, but it's not the smell, it's the fur.
Oh, yeah, I don't ever have to deal with that.
Be glad you don't. Mine's not too bad, but my dad sheds like crazy. Aw. I helped him brush his back, but after I moved out for university, he stopped brushing daily.
Jeez, should I really let him stay in my bed?
It'll be fine. He just brushes the furniture now.
Alright, the sheets are changed, sex toys hidden. The room is clean.
Teamwork. You give Siggy a high five and a kiss.
Boys, I think he's here.
Okay, it's just your dad staying over at your boyfriend's house. What's the worst that could happen? You take a deep breath and head downstairs.
Welcome, I'm Sigmund Deckard. Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure's all mine. You have a nice place here, Sigmund.
Thank you. Please, make yourself at home. Our son should be on their way.
I'm sorry that this was last minute. I rarely travel out of town, and when I do, the missus usually handles the arrangements.
I see. And where is your wife, if I may ask?
She's somewhere knee-deep in dust, excavating an ancient Viking dig site halfway across the globe.
Devin mentioned she's an archaeologist. I didn't know she was so involved.
Aye, she's a passionate one. I don't know how someone like her settled down with a guy like me. I've been asking myself that question for 35 years.
Wow, 35 years?
Yep, we got married pretty young. How about you and your wife?
Oh, I never married.
Hey, Dad.
Devin, come here.
Ack! Your dad trudges over and gives you a great big hug.
I see you're doing well.
Good to see you too, Dad. Please set me down. He lets you go and steps over to the other dragon.
And you must be Siggy.
Hey, Mr. Surf. Yes, I'm Siggy. Good to meet you.
Thanks for letting me stay in your room. I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
No, it's fine. We'll be staying back at the dorms.
You must be tired from traveling. You'll be staying in Sigurd's room. It's up the stairs at the end of the hallway.
I'll drop off my bag then. Be right back.
You didn't tell me your dad was so handsome. Where do you think I get it from?
I can see why Leah was so infatuated with him.
Aw, not you too.
What? You can't deny he's good looking.
He's my dad.
More like daddy.
Stop before he hears you.
Here's what?
Hear about dinner.
Oh, what's for dinner?
Yes, Sigmund, what's for dinner?
Oh, dinner. Yes, it is, it will be delicious.
You're speaking my love language.
All right, then. Since we have guests tonight, we shall have a small feast.
Oh, wow. Please don't feel obliged just because of me.
No, I'm excited to have guests to entertain. I hardly ever have the opportunity. Please, have a seat in the living room.
Sure.
Awesome. Can I help you with anything?
Just keep our guests comfortable. I'll take some assistance from Devin in the meantime.
That's probably the safer option anyways.
Okay, just, don't mention anything about us just yet. I want to tell my dad when the time is right.
Okie dokie. Wow, that's a huge TV.
Would you like to watch something?
Sure, do you have any of the home and garden channels?
I think so. Siggy sits next to Harold on the couch and searches through a few channels until he lands on a familiar show about two otter brothers helping young couples design their dream homes.
So, Devin mentioned you work in landscaping. Is that like gardening? That's right. I love to garden, but landscaping involves a lot more than just picking some pretty things to plant.
What's all involved?
Well, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. You don't just look at a space and think of what would look nice right now. You have to also plan it out for every season.
Oh, I didn't think about that. But you're right. Plants flower at different times.
Yep, and you also have to consider how much care and maintenance go into it. Some plants require trimming every couple of months, others just once a year.
Wow, that's a lot to keep track of.
It's not so bad. Most of my clients tend to favor low-maintenance setups. They're better for the environment anyways.
That's awesome. We actually met photojournalist and environmental activist Leopold Frost recently.
Leo? You don't say. We went to high school together.
Back in the kitchen.
Have you finished cutting the carrots?
Yes, the pot is boiling.
The timer is going off for the over. Take it out.
Over or oven? I got it.
Are you sure this isn't too much?
I think it's going to be just enough. He's a big eater.
Alright, drain the pasta while I get the sauce finished.
You rush back and forth, helping Sigmund with dinner. The kitchen is alive with an orchestra of clashing plates and utensils. Sigmund seems unusually enthusiastic. Perhaps it is a mix between impressing his boyfriend's father and being a hospitable host. Either way, the big dragon proceeds to cook up a storm. After half an hour, the meal is near completion.
Go set the table and let them know it's about time to eat.
On it. I don't get these shows. How do these young couples have so much money to spend on houses and decorations?
I never really thought about it. I just really like seeing all the homes.
I mean, I'm a full-time student and work part-time as a firefighter. There's no way I could afford rent in half the cities these people live in.
Now that you mention it, that's kind of wild.
Hey guys, dinner is almost ready.
Awesome. The smell has been making me hungry this whole time.
Let's eat.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Just in time. I've got everything out on the table.
Sigmund indeed serves a feast. Several dishes lay upon the table, steaming and bubbling with sweet and savory aromas.
Dig in.
The next half hour passes by quietly and quickly as everyone is too busy stuffing their faces with delicious things instead of talking.
Holy hell, that was delicious.
Thanks. I'm glad you all enjoyed the meal.
That was super tasty.
I'm stuffed.
I enjoy stuffing you.
You dig your elbow into Sigmund's ribs.
Ow.
Well, I think we should get back to the dorms. I've got some studying I want to finish.
Oh, leaving already?
No worries. I'll come back tomorrow after your meeting and we can spend the rest of the day together. You don't leave till the day after tomorrow, right?
Yep. Okay then. I'll see you boys later.
It was nice meeting you, Mr. Surf.
You as well. And please, call me Harold.
Alright, you boys don't get too wild while we're gone.
Don't worry.
I'll take good care of your dad. The fur stands up on the back of your neck. However, Siggy is already waving goodbye and is pushing you out the door. What's the rush, Siggy?
Well, I wanted to go fool around back at the dorm.
Oh, okay, but I do have to get some research done first.
Fine.
You and Siggy drive back towards the dorms. The sun set just a few minutes ago. That's not a problem for someone who's made this drive several times. So, what did you and my dad talk about?
Nothing much. I asked him about his work. You're right. He's a really laid-back guy. We watch one of those house remodeling shows.
He loves watching those. Well, he also loves sitting on the couch and watching shows for hours as much as he loves working outside. I'm glad there's some balance between those two things.
I mentioned meeting Leopold.
Oh, did my dad ask about the trip to the island?
He didn't, actually. Just told me about how he knew Leo from high school and how he hung out with him all the time.
You let out a sigh of relief that your dad is aloof as ever. You make it back to your dorm, passing a couple of students moving on the opposite end of your corridor. Finally back inside your room, Siggy darts forward to kiss you deeply. The dragon slides his tongue in between your lips and holds you tight against him. Iggy. You gently push against him and give him a quick kiss. Siggy, I said I had some studying to do first.
I know. I just wanted to do that now and then it's just you and me.
Aw, alright. Well, I'll just be on my computer for a bit. I'm curious to learn more about Leopold's Island. I was thinking about starting a paranormal society club.
Ghosts and stuff? Count me out.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't be into it, but why don't you get comfortable and play a video game or something? After I'm done, we can have some real fun.
Sounds good. Love you.
Love you too. Siggy strips down into his underwear and flops onto the bed. You boot up your PC and start with some basic searches about Dreamer Island's history. Most of the results lead back to tourism or tropical gardening pages. The rest seem to go into environmental protection and preservation efforts. You recall a forum that your mom liked to use that both amateur and professional archivists used to discuss a manner of historical topics. Browsing to the site, you spend a long time digging through old posts till you finally find something interesting. The post is fairly recent. Taken from the journal and blog of Robert Wagner, a retired tiger and avid traveler, the following is an account of the history of some pretty interesting folk tales. These stories originate from the people who live upon the coast north of Dreamer Island. It all started with the town of Outsmouth filing a protest when Leopold had filed for the island to gain protected status. The protest fell on deaf ears, however, as their main reason was they wished to see the island erode away back into the sea. Outsmouth is a port town that dates back at least 250 years. The original settlers were all outcasts from a larger colony who settled their homes along the coast. A few journals and other items were preserved in the town hall. Robert managed to bribe the clerk for a closer look. The texts describe settlement as a harsh experience. The town's initial founders were ravaged by brutal waves and stormy weather. The colony ship that brought them there abandoned them there. They had not the means to move closer inland. Piecing together the fables and historic accounts, it seems the seas became placid and normal shortly after the town's founders discovered the island. Robert pressed deeper into the mystery of what happened. It was after interviewing a few of the dock workers did he finally find his next clue. One of the workers had moved into town a couple of years ago. One night on a drunken date, one of the other longtime workers let slip that the current dock was rebuilt west of the original dockyard. This would end up being Roger's most useful lead. Every other inhabitant of Outsmouth seemed very tight-lipped about the town's history. Locals would dismiss the old stories of ritual and magic as tales parents tell their children so they don't wander out on the beach alone, or not say anything at all. The next day, Roger set off for where the old docks were supposed to be. All he could find while combing the shores were the boards of the old dock buried beneath sand and sea. The tides were low, and he continued down the coast until he found a narrow inlet. On the walls of the inlet revealed by the receding tides were drawings and symbols that dated back to the time of the founders. Roger did not have his camera to record the symbols, but described them the best he could in his journal. The images describe the town's founders tying up an individual and traveling to a large mound in the sea. The shape matched Dreamer Island. There on the island, they would call out to some ancient being that slept below. The sleeping entity would awake and their sacrifice would go to sleep. The remaining symbol showed some dark smoke emanating from the bound sacrifice, and it seemed to spread out in all directions like snakes slithering outwards. Roger's journal ends abruptly after his last update about booking a reservation with Leo just 4 days before your visit. Wow, that's a wild read. I'd like to know what he found out. I should send him an email. As soon as you hit send, the world goes dark. Gah! Surprise! Siggy, you scared the pants off me! Funny, you still look like you're wearing pants. And you're not. Are you done yet? You said it wouldn't be that long. I actually just finished. Good, maybe you can help me finish now? Tease Siggy or give in? Let's be playful. Let's tease Siggy. How bad do you want it? Pretty bad. Been thinking about it since this morning. Siggy grinds his crotch against yours. His dragon slit bulges. His tip is already pushing out against your clothed bulge. Oh, I think you'd be a little more excited then. You trace your finger along the opening of Siggy's slit. The dragon gasps and shives in pleasure. Fuck, that feels nice. If only there was somewhere hot and tight for you to put this. Your boyfriend's chicken pushes out from his crotch and into your palm. You give his hot, throbbing rod a few squeezes. Huff, so hard. Just the way I like it. Grr. Come on, get naked. Yes, dear. But I'm not a deer. Just shut up. You strip naked and kiss your younger partner. Okay guys, so I think the next scenes might be too sexual for me to fully narrate on YouTube, so you guys know the routine. I will skip ahead and give some previews of the naughty scenes along the way, and then after I will give a summary of what happened. So see you in a bit. Damn babe. I want to top tonight. Oh yes, it's been a while since you've done that. Well, I can't let that have all the fun back there. Siggy is giving off some dom energy tonight. Hearing your sweet himbo boyfriend be all commanding makes you rock hard. Sigmund is thicker than his son, but not by much. You take a deep breath, allowing Siggy to sink his girth inside. You feel each squirt of creamy dragon seed push against your prostate before shooting deeper inside you. You both lay there panting hard as Siggy rolls onto his side and snuggles against you. Damn, that was hot. I'll say, are you still coming? Yeah, I was really pent up. You nuzzle against him and pull the sheets over you. The mystery of Dreamer Island seems so far away. Okay guys, so quick summary of what they did. So first, Siggy and Devin kissed, and then Siggy licked Devin's donut hole, used his tongue to, lubricate him, and then after, Siggy topped Devin, put his tool inside Devin's hole, and then, thrusting, and then at some point, Devin erupted first, and then Siggy erupted next, and he let out a roar, and then after that, they laid down next to each other and rested. And this is what we saw just earlier. So that's it. Earlier, back at the Deckards residence,
Don't worry, I'll take good care of your dad.
you and Siggy have just left back for the dormitory.
That was an excellent dinner. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh wow, I spent all that time getting the meal together. I didn't think about dessert.
Dessert. Say, you already spent your whole evening busy on account of me. Why don't I treat us to some dessert?
That sounds like a lovely idea.
Are there any ice cream places nearby?
There's a local joint just around the corner.
Would you like to join me for a walk then?
Sure, I probably need to get some exercise after such a large meal.
Great. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to get there.
Alright then, let me just go put my shoes on.
The two big guys walk down the street. The ice cream place is only a few blocks away. As they enter the ice cream shop, a large group of children and their parents are on their way out. Welcome. I just need a few minutes to tidy up after that rush. I will be back in just a moment to take your order.
Alright, Sigmund, what would you like?
It's been a while since I've had a milkshake.
Ooh, that sounds good. What flavor?
This place has a lot of different options. I'm not sure yet. What are you going to get?
Cookie dough is my favorite ice cream, but I'm not sure if that will make the best milkshake.
Good point. Let's see what's creamy, sweet, and thick.
Okay, well, you could always go with the classic vanilla shake.
I wouldn't consider myself a vanilla person, but I think that hits the mark for now.
Alright, I think I'm going to get something nasty like this peanut butter banana and hot fudge shake.
Well, that just sounds so much better than just plain vanilla.
You want one of those too?
Yes, I'll have what you're having.
Sorry for the wait. May I take your order?
Perfect timing. I'd like 2 large peanut butter and banana shakes with hot fudge and some extra whipped cream on top.
Yes, sir. Coming right up.
So, don't mention this to Devin.
Mention what?
The ice cream. Doc says I need to cut back on sweets.
Now that you mentioned it, Devin does worry about your health.
Yep, doesn't help that he's going into a medical field either. I have to hear it from both my wife and my son.
I understand, though. It took a while for me to stop worrying so much about Sigurd. I lost a few nights of sleep to it. It wasn't until I put a hole in my hand with a nail gun while working one day that I realized I need to worry more about my own health.
Ouch.
Yep, your son and wife just want you in their lives as long as possible. They just sometimes have an aggressive way of showing it.
Here you are. 2 large peanut butter and banana shakes with hot fudge and extra whipped cream.
Thank you. Here, keep the change.
You're welcome. Have a good night, gentlemen. Harold hands Sigmund a shake and the 2 dads start their walk back to the house. Sigmund slurps on his shake vigorously.
Enjoying your shake now?
Damn, this is just so thick.
It is, but the trick is to suck on it slowly, but firmly. Otherwise your mouth will get tired.
Heh, sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't get this big without learning a trick or two. Say, did your voice just get deeper?
Probably just the shake making my throat cold.
Harold and Sigmund finish their shakes by the time they reach the house.